I'd driven that stretch of highway 100 times. Flatland for miles. Gas stations every 40 minutes. Nothing out of the ordinary. But this time I wasn't alone. My girlfriend Claire and I were on our way to visit her sister across state lines. It was supposed to be a 6-hour drive. Easy. Somewhere around the 4-hour mark, we hit construction. A long line of brake lights. Claire pulled out her phone and checked for an alternate route. There's a back road that cuts 20 minutes, she said. It's just through a couple of small towns. Want to try it? I should have said no. I should have stuck with traffic. But I didn't. The detour started fine. Narrower roads, sure, but paved and clearly marked. Until we passed a faded sign that just read, "Welcome to Lowridge." Lowridge wasn't on the map. Not Claire's phone, not mine. The road got bumpier, the pavement cracked. Then it turned to gravel. That's when we lost cell signal. Still, the GPS kept rerouting. "Stay on Lowridge Road," it said in that calm, robotic voice. We passed a rusted-out diner with no lights on, a barn that looked half-burned, a swing set that creaked with no wind. It felt like we were the only living things out there. Then we came to an intersection. The GPS told us to go right, but there were no signs. Just two options. One way curved uphill into thick woods. The other dipped down toward a dry riverbed. Claire pointed left. "I think it's this way," she said. I turned right. It was like we crossed into another decade. The houses were old, really old. Some looked lived in, but we didn't see a single person outside. No dogs, no cars, just silence. Then the GPS froze. We stopped at a blinking yellow light in what looked like a town square. Cracked brick buildings, a school with no windows, a gas station with a rusted-out sign that read 29 cents per gallon. Claire leaned forward. "Something's not right." We tried turning around. The road we came in on wasn't there anymore. I slammed the brakes. It was just a dead end. A brick wall where the road should have been. Claire reached for my arm. "Look," she whispered. Across the street, in the window of what looked like a general store, a figure was standing completely still, watching us. We didn't stay to find out who they were. I reversed, took random turns, tried to find anything that looked familiar. That's when the signs started changing. Same town, same buildings, but now the signs had our names on them. Claire's Market, Ethan's Tires. At one intersection, I saw a billboard that read, "You're home now." We drove until the car sputtered. The fuel gauge was full, but the engine gave out like it had run dry. We sat in silence for hours, maybe more. And then, just as suddenly, we were back. No signs, no blinking lights, just the highway wide open. We didn't speak the rest of the drive. Back at Claire's sister's place, I checked the GPS history. It didn't show any detour. Just 6 hours on the highway. But here's the part one can't explain. Weeks later, I got a flyer in the mail. No return address. Just a black and white photo. It was a gas station. The one from Lowridge. And under it, in faded print, "Now hiring. Locals only." It was close to midnight when we pulled into the rest stop. My best friend Noah and I were driving cross-country, coast to coast. Just two guys and a beat-up hatchback. We took turns driving through the night, and this stretch of highway had been especially empty for hours. No towns, no lights, just the distant glow of our high beams cutting through misty darkness. So when we saw the blue rest area sign, it felt like a break from the void. We pulled in. Only one other car was there. No license plate. Dusty windows. The place was quiet. Too quiet. The vending machines were dead. The payphone by the bathroom kept ringing. And then Noah said, "I think we should go." He went into the restroom while I stayed outside. I was halfway through a stale granola bar when I realized something strange. The ringing phone had stopped. I checked my phone. Still no signal. When Noah didn't come back after 5 minutes, I went inside to check on him. The place was freezing. Fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. I turned the corner and saw someone standing at the sink. Not Noah. The man was older, wearing a beige jacket, soaking wet like he'd walked through a storm. He just stood there, staring at his reflection in the mirror. I said, "Hey man, you okay?" He didn't turn around. Then he said, clear as day, "You shouldn't have answered the phone." I backed out of the restroom. Fast. Noah was outside now, pacing near the car. He looked shaken. "We need to leave," he said. "Now." We jumped in and drove. A few miles down the road, Noah finally spoke. He said while washing his hands, he'd heard someone whisper behind him, but there was no one there. Then he found a small object wedged behind the sink, a mini tape recorder. He played it for me. It was our voices, from earlier that day, laughing, talking, singing to the radio. Then came a click, and a voice not ours saying, "Marked. Watch for the black truck." That night, we got a motel room and locked every latch we could. I couldn't sleep. Neither could Noah. Around 3 a.m., we went to the front desk and told the clerk everything. She looked nervous, but not surprised. "There's a station 2 towns over," she said. "Talk to Officer Riggins. You're not the first." So we did. At the station, Riggins led us to a back room. A bulletin board filled with old photos, maps, and missing persons flyers. At the center was a blurry shot of the rest stop, and pinned beneath it were our names, with yesterday's date, labeled, presumed lost. Riggins said people show up there sometimes, confused, scared, but most don't remember anything. Some just disappear. He asked for the recorder, but when we checked Noah's bag, it was gone. I was alone, heading west on Highway 56. Just me, the open road, and a cooler of gas station sandwiches. It was the kind of drive where nothing changes. Mile after mile of flat earth and scrub brush. But I needed the time to think. The first time I passed mile marker 313, I didn't notice anything strange until the radio repeated the same song. Not replayed. Repeated. Exactly the same spot. Same static. Same DJ intro. Then my GPS blinked. Rebooted. Then said, "Continue for 110 miles. Which was weird, because that's what it had already said, half an hour ago. By the third time I saw mile marker 313, I pulled over. I checked my phone, no service. Checked the car clock. 40 minutes had passed, but the sun hadn't moved. Then I saw someone walking along the shoulder up ahead. I honked. He turned around slowly. Looked maybe 40, with a pack slung over one shoulder. When he reached the car, I rolled the window down halfway. "You stuck too?" I asked. He just nodded, then said, "You're not supposed to stop here, but it doesn't matter now." I asked what he meant. He just climbed into the passenger seat and said, "You'll see." We drove in silence. Every few miles, the same billboard passed by, faded green with no text. Every sign, mile marker, and curve felt identical. Eventually, the man pulled a folded-up piece of paper from his jacket. Maps. Notes. Scribbles of exit numbers. "Been trying to get out for weeks," he said. He showed me tally marks. Over 40. Every time he reached mile 314, something dragged him back. Sometimes the road reversed. Sometimes it just skipped. "Only rule is this," he said. "Don't fall asleep. That's when it resets the deepest." We made a plan. If we both stayed awake, stayed focused, and past mile 313 together. We might beat it. We crossed 313 again. The GPS froze. The map turned blank. Then the stranger said, "There. That's new." Ahead was a dirt turnout. No sign. Just a narrow trail lined with rocks. We took it. The road narrowed into a wooded pass. Trees I hadn't seen before. Then sunlight, real warm sunlight, cut through the branches. And then I woke up in my parked car at a gas station. No trees, no woods, just flat land and distant highway noise. I was alone. No stranger. No maps. But on the dashboard, tucked under the wiper, was a yellow sticky note. It read, 314, don't ever come back.